In many of the previous problems, we were asked to compute the rate of something, okay, and we were going to go into the unit rate, all right? But in many cases, we have that we don't want to do the unit rate. We have a rate for something, like for example here, 675 words in 9 minutes, okay? And then we want to see, well, how many words can Charles type in 13 minutes, all right? So we are not necessarily going for the unit rate. And Salman Khan, of course, he basically says, all right, we can set that as a rate. So we have 675. Okay, so 675. All right, words. All right, words per minute. Okay, in 9 minutes. Okay, in 9 minutes. Minute. All right. And then the question here is, all right, so how many words we are going to have then X, how many words can this person Charles type in 13 minutes? Okay, 13 minutes. And the way that Salman Khan basically says, all right, is let's figure out the unit rate first, okay, the unit rate first, and then multiply that unit rate for the 13 minutes. That makes sense, but it's actually, kind of a little bit more cumbersome. Of course, that algebraically we can say, all right, let's multiply both sides of the equation here by 13 minutes. Okay, 13 minutes. And so we do here 13 minutes too. All right. And so we are going to end up that the number of words that Charles can type is 13, okay, times 675 divided 9. All right. This is a classical problem, what we call the rule of three, okay? The rule of three. So I'm going to write this here, the rule of three. All right. So the rule of three basically says that whenever we have a rate, two rates, if we know three out of the four parts of the rates, then we can always calculate the fourth one. Okay. And so this is one way of setting up the problem. And this is kind of the most, if you wish, common way of setting up the problem. When I was in elementary school, we actually learned when we were doing pre-algebra, we learned to set up these problems slightly differently, okay? And I want you to see which one you think is better, if you wish, okay? So one way that we would do it is we would write the problem, okay, 675 words per minute, okay, and we would do a line, okay, here, no, not per minute, but in 9 minutes, okay, in 9 minutes. And then we would read the problem and says, oh, okay, so we have now 13 minutes, okay, 13 minutes, and then how many words we have. So we have the X there on that side. All right. And then what we were taught to do is you basically have to do the cross product. Okay. So we would actually write something like this. We would circle what we needed to multiply by what we needed to divide. Okay. And in this situation, we always basically ended up that we had the X, okay, the X is going to equal, and then we would multiply in the numerator, we would have more than the two of the three. Okay, so we would end up with 675, okay, 675 times 13 divided by the third one, okay, divided by the 9, all right? And so that is basically the way that we would set up the problems in order to solve these problems using the rule of three. Either way that you do it is fine, okay? This one is basically using rates algebraically. This one, it makes more sense to me because this is the way that I practice it more often. And also, we are going to see that there are actually several other implications on learning how to use this problem, this way of solving the rule of three. that are going to be very advantageous. So I want you to give it a try, setting up the problems this way.